today's episode we're going to be talking about Corona. Not really, but hello. I just started talking to me at the long intro stuff, so so anyway, it's kind of been a long day. It's been a long week. So, and also I'm also tired. Yesterday was a long, after the show, did a workout of doing squats, the bike, took the dog for a walk, and I'm still sore. Even though my doctor would probably be like, yeah, way to go. Anyway, it was kind of like one of those long, crazy things and stuff. And it looks like it's gonna rain. It rained yesterday when we were doing the show, and now I honestly don't know if it's gonna rain or not, but hopefully it does. Anyway, a lot of things have been happening in the news. A lot of rumors happening, going on, such as Matt Reeves confirms that the Batman delay, new Robert Pattinson image surfaced. Robert Pattinson Batsuit leaked on the movie set, which we all kind of know that one. That was in February. Here comes Lilo. What's up, Lilo? Better, We're Pattinson with Doreen Smoulier, the sister of Jesse Smoulier, who played Canary in the great, fantastic Birds of Prey. Them shit. So, anyway, Matt Reeves confirmed with being asked a question. He wrote, "Yes, we have shut down till it's safe for all of us to resume. Everyone is safe for the moment. Thank you for asking. Stay safe too." Which kind of sucks though. It's like you were hoping for them to film somewhere. Hi, Lilo. Yep, Lilo joined the show. Anyway, there's been rumors of Tim Drake for Titan Season 3, which I think is kind of bullshit, in my opinion. I don't even know how they could... I don't even think that how they could even bring in Tim Drake into Titans, because Tim Drake kind of becomes Robin after, I think Jason Todd dies, if I remember correctly. I think so, yeah. He becomes Robin after Jason dies. Jason alive. And last time I checked, he was in the Robin suit, so what are you going to do? Season 3 has been ushering a third, rumors of a third Robin speculation rumor, no other than Tim Drake. And Tim Drake's one of my favorite Robins. And it, I know a lot. I used to like Jason Todd, but everybody fucking killed it for me. Like, they had to make this emo, Bruce, Batman's forgotten me. I'm just filled with anger and rage, and I just want to fucking kill him. And it's like, they add this whole teenage emo angst to Jason. Jason Todd to me is like one of those laid back, I don't give a fuck about anybody type characters. Instead, they have to add in this stupid ass fucking emo angst, I'm gonna put a bullet in you, Batman type thing. It's like, shut the fuck up. Enough with the shit. But they don't. I am so sick and tired of this fucking emo, I don't want to talk to you and I hate you type thing. It's like, fuck off. Go read Catcher in the Rye in the library. It's like, fuck off with you and your stupid shit type of thing. Enough with it. Jason is one of those people who just doesn't give a fuck type attitude. He's laid back. He's a mixture of like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob meets trying to think of the other character. Ben Affleck from Good Will Hunting. He's a mixture of that. And he's funny. And he has a sense of humor. And, I wrote Jason Todd as sort of like this person who just is a free will spirit. He does whatever he wants to do. Even though it breaks the laws of things. He's a free spirit. He's like Free Willy. He's not this, this emo, angsty, dickhead character. He's just a free spirit. He's a Free Willy. That's how he is to me. And it annoys me. It's like everybody thinks Jason Todd is like Arkham Knight in the Arkham Knight video game. He's not. He's not. I mean, he's highly intelligent, but he's not like, do you remember me, Bruce? Do you remember me, Batman? It's like, fuck off. Enough. Type of thing. And Tim Drake, the one thing that always bugged the fuck out of me with Arkham Knight, and I love the Arkham Knight video game, the graphics, the get the option to drive the Batmobile or glide through Gotham. If you hear something in the background, it's Lilo snoring. She just fell asleep. She doesn't want to sleep in the other room because Lola is like sprawled out on the bed in the other bedroom area. So Lilo's in my room, just out cold. During this type of cold weather, Lola likes to sleep on top of Lilo, and Lilo does not want anybody sleeping on top of her. Reports of a new character description in Titan Season 3 has surfaced for Danny. However, Instagram theorizes Danny can actually be a codename for Tim Drake Robin. As the description states, Danny is a youth who grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, but never lost his belief in heroism. A laid-back persona is balanced by a near-genius intellect. He has inept detective skills with a perception for details that is way beyond his years. Despite his tough upbringing, he's motivated by the opportunity to do good in the world instead of dwelling in the pain and tragedy. So, they're wanting to bring in Tim Drake. I think it's kind of a dumb idea. For me, I think personally it's a dumb choice of idea. Because this is going to start out with the rumor of, is Jason dead? Is Jason dead? Is he going to come back in season 4 as Red Hood? It's that idea that they are going to put up now. It's a stupid idea, in my opinion. It's a really dumb idea to be like, alright, we're bringing in this character, we're going to kill off this character. It's like, to me, it's like a revolving door. Now, I mean, season 2 of Titans, there was some good parts and there were some bad parts. The good parts were Bruce Wayne showing up, and I really wanted to see Batman. I wanted to see flashbacks of Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne as Batman and Robin. Instead of them sitting, drinking tea and having a conversation. That was boring. and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it was kind of boring. Like, I wish during the hallucination scene where, you know, instead of Bruce doing the Bat-Toozy, which I loved, definitely a shout out to the one of the great Batmans of all time, Adam West. But I wanted to see flashbacks. I wanted to see, you know, the Bat Trio, Batman, Batgirl, and Robin. I wanted to see, you know, what caused the fallout between Batman, you know, and Robin. What caused the fractured relationship between Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. That they're slowly trying to mend fences and, you know, get along. I wanted to see that. But instead, we didn't get that. Instead, we just got this utter confusion of, like, what the fuck happened? That's kind of how I felt. Like, I felt like, what was the point of it? But now it's just like, now they're wanting to bring it. I feel like they're trying to do this. They're trying to bring in all the Bat family members for one epic moment, which I have no problem with it. But I still want, you know, closure of the Dick Grayson story. And I feel like the whole Bruce Wayne thing was just wasted. They wasted a perfect opportunity to do things that a lot of us Bat fans wanted to see. You know, and now I'm worried that, you know, with them bringing Batgirl in, they're going to utterly fuck up that part. You know, And there's one thing I really want to see is flashbacks. Now, I still want the flashback scenes. I wish they would just... You had the Robin suit. Reuse it. Okay? Reuse the Robin suit. You know, use it for flashback scenes. And I know they're probably going to do it. Like, well, if we do that, then a lot of people are going to want to see that instead of the Titan show. Not really. It's just, it'd be like... There's, like, the thing I complained about for Season 2 was that there was too many characters. They should have just got rid of Hawk and Dove. Nobody gave a fuck about them. I wish they both died in the show. Instead of Wonder Girl, but instead they had to kill Wonder Girl off because, they killed Aqualad off. Which was kind of a big fuck you to everybody. It's like, seriously, you killed up one of the most likable characters to keep around two of the most boring, dipshit characters around. Who bring nothing but drama to the table. Nothing but drama. I bet you $5. $5 in Season 3, Dove is going to be in a relationship with somebody, and Hawk is going to be, like, angry and aggravated and annoyed. It's like, no, dude, you cheated on her with a truck stop waitress. What the fuck was wrong with you? You must have been high as hell to do that. She's going to be, I bet you $5. Dove is going to be dating somebody, and Hawk is going to be angry and jealous and, giving this, whatever attitude. I bet you $5 that's what's going to happen. I bet somewhere in this coronavirus thing, some writer in their apartment is writing this story out and sending it to other writers like, do you think this would be a great idea? And I'm sure a lot of them are like, that is a brilliant idea. Nobody's ever going to think of that. Probably some dude in Missouri who's doing a podcast saying this. I bet you $5 that's what's going to happen. But the thing about it is we all saw it. We all saw this stupid ass stereotype writing in superhero shows. We saw it in Smallville. We saw it in Gotham, where they had Bruce dating, Bruce with flirtatious things with Silver St. Cloud, who is a dumb character, which I don't know what they were thinking when they created that character in comics. She's like the dumbest fucking character. I'm glad they never put her in a live-action movie. I hate her. I hate her too. She was like, they brought her back multiple times for the Goldbergs, and I was thinking like, fuck. Gotham did the smart thing. I think Gotham killed her off. I think they did. I think they killed her off, which was like sheer brilliance. It's like, it's too bad they couldn't do it in the Goldbergs. You can't bring her back. But or in Titans, they're going to do the switcheroo where they're going to have Hawk in a relationship and Dove's going to be insecure and jealous. Like, does he love me still? Like, I am just like, so, like, I don't want too many characters in the show. I really don't. There's too many characters. There's too many Titans. Downsize. Get rid of the two lazy ones that bring nothing to the table, that are named after birds. Hawk and Dove. Get rid of them. They bring nothing to the table. While you're at it, get rid of Starfire. She brings nothing to the table. It's not even a good star. It's not even... I have nothing against the actress who plays Starfire, but it's just like, I rather have the Starfire from Teen Titans Go in the show. At least she's entertaining and funny. this Starfire, I don't get her. I don't get this character. And the one thing that I want to ask, and I wish I could ask the writers, is why did you have the scene where Bruce Wayne sits in the diner with Wonder Girl, Starfire, Dove, and Raven? Why? Why did you have him sit there and just talk to them? That was like the waste of time. Because, Bruce Wayne, out of this, would really go to the prison where Dick Grayson is to get him out. He would do that. I don't think he would sit there and talk to 4 people he really probably doesn't give a shit about. He wouldn't give no shits about any of them. Like, he would go to the prison and be like, I need to get him out. And if they can't let him out, he'll probably break in there as Batman and beat the shit out of people. Then get him out. That's what he would probably do. But instead, they just, like, I want to know why that happened. And stuff, but it didn't. Like, I would have rather see him show up as Batman, like, beat the shit out of guards, prisoners, get Dick Grayson out, and that would have been an awesome moment. Like, that would have been the Batman moment that people were, like, waiting. But the writers instead just didn't. We're like, we just wanted Bruce Wayne, the father figure. It's a father-son, rebonding and mending the fences after a big fallout. It's like, yeah, that's great, but that would have been an awesome moment. That would have been like a moment where Dick Grayson realizes that his father still cares for him, would even break into a prison to get him out. Like, that is the thing right there. That's the one thing that any father would do to save their son. Instead, he just sits there and talks to 4 women who don't have no clue who the fuck he is or care about him. I mean, even to the point where Donna Troy and Dove wouldn't even save Dick Grayson. They were just like, fuck him. And they just drive off. Like, that was at one point where I was just like, I hope Donna Troy dies in this show. And she does. Like, that would have been funny though. Like, that was like the one moment where you're like, man, I wish Shazam showed up. Him and his family saved people on a Ferris wheel. And they were just kids. No experience whatsoever as heroes, but they saved the day. But instead, like, that was the one moment where, that was like the one moment when she died, I was just like, why couldn't it have been Dove? Or Hawk? It's odd enough that dude who plays Hawk played Aquaman in Smallville. And he is just equally boring in Titans than he was in Smallville. Like, I remember the episode where I think he was held hostage by Lex Luthor. And one thing I want to know is, like, how the hell did he show up in Smallville? Aquaman, like, that was like the one thing still to this day I'm like, how did he show up? Because Smallville's in Kansas and Aquaman's supposed to be out in the ocean. how did he show up in Smallville, of all places? Like, I know Smallville is supposed to be presented as this show where anyone can show up, except Batman, because he probably doesn't give a shit about Smallville. Like, I mean, Batman, at that time, Batman came out in theaters, Batman Begins. And I'm sure Christian Bale's like, I ain't showing up in Smallville. Like, I remember when that movie came out, and a year after Superman came out, and it has a cameo, it has a reference scene where Superman went to Gotham to save the day. I remember seeing it, I was like, I threw the flag down on bullshit. Because I'm pretty sure Christian Bale's Batman would tell Brandon Routh's emo Superman, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's what would have happened. Quit bitching, quit whining, stop stalking Lois, get the fuck out. That's how it would have been. That's how I would have imagined it. Like, I remember that scene. I was just like, this bullshit. Superman's probably like floating above Gotham going, can't believe Lois moved on. I'll just stand outside her house and just watch her like a creepy person. Like, I still am like, I remember watching Smallville, and when Aquaman showed up, like, carrying Lois out of the water, like he was a creature from the Black Lagoon. In my mind, I'm thinking, like, how the hell did he show up in Smallville? Did he, like, swim upstream to Smallville, Kansas, of all places? Like, you have the ocean. Areas in the ocean where nobody went. Even still to this day, not even James Cameron went that deep into the ocean looking for anything. Why would you show up in Smallville, of all places? Why? You have the ocean, you have Atlantis, you know, like, you have everywhere to go in the ocean. You could have went to see the Titanic, but instead, you show up in Smallville, the most boringest place on God's green earth, where the only bad guy is a bald dude because everybody in the town is stupid. Except a small few people. You show up in Smallville. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. Like, that was like the dumbest moment in television. Was Aquaman showing up. Cyborg showed up. I felt kind of cheaped. You know, cheated out. Because, like, when you think of Cyborg, you think of, like, the half-metal thing. But instead, it's under his skin. Like, the whole Cyborg thing. Like, it's under his skin. That was stupid. I mean, the actor who played him was really good, God rest his soul. He sadly passed away, you know, and stuff. But I felt like they kind of went, like, they could have went, you know, like, I mean, you're a show, I mean, I know you're trying to be realistic. Thank you for sleeping during the podcast, Lilo. I was going to say Lola. Lola sleeps all the time. But, you know, you could have went like, you know, this isn't a realistic superhero show that you think of. This is sci-fi, so we're going to give you Cyborg. But instead, you didn't. The Flash, on the other hand, the Flash was kind of irritatingly annoying. It wasn't Barry Allen. I think it was Bart Allen. Of all people. Not even Wally West. I think that's who it is. Like, I remember they referenced, like, each character, each Flash in Smallville, like Wally West, Barry Allen. I think it's the Flash, Bart Allen. Impulse, yeah. That's what they called him. The Flash, Impulse. The Flash was not Barry Allen like the 90s TV show, or Wally West like in the current comic book run back then. An early appearance of Bart Allen, Impulse, then Kid Flash, as the Flash. Yeah, Bart Allen showed up. Like, it was kind of odd though. It was kind of funny though, because if you're like me, if you like watch the Justice League Unlimited and stuff, Michael Rosenbaum, I think is his name. I think, who played Lex Luthor, Lex in the Smallville, did the voice of the Flash in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. It was kind of funny though when they had him and Bart Allen, Impulse, in the scenes together. I was just like, I was kind of like thinking like Terry McGinnis, Batman, like Impulse meet the Flash. It was kind of like the funniest moment, but they also did it in Justice League Unlimited, where Lex Luthor takes over the Flash's body, which was kind of funny. Yeah, but anyway, he was boring as Aquaman. Like, he wasn't like the Aquaman that you see today, like the Jason Momoa, because Jason Momoa has personality and charisma. The Aquaman in the show is basically like a wet fish on the ground, like no personality or anything, just flat, flopping around fish. And you watch the show and you're like, these people have no charisma or likability. Green Arrow, even though a lot of people love Justin Hartley's Green Arrow, there's a small few. Now it's like Stephen Amell is the Green Arrow. Like, this dude had no personality. Like, it's kind of like the oddest, it's kind of the stupidest thing ever. Like, him and, like, the show starts out with him and Lois Lane in a relationship, they're in love, type of thing. Then he dumps Lois. And at the end of the show, him and Chloe, before she became a second command of a sex cult, get into a relationship. It is like the stupidest thing ever. Like, because Chloe is Lois's cousin. It's kind of like Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones became a thing, where he's like, I'm now in love with you. I discovered that after I dated your cousin. And like, they had Black Canary in it, and like they just like threw that relationship out the window. It's like the first time ever. It's like somewhere the Arrow writer was like, well, Smallville did it, we could do it too. Like, I'm always one of those people who I feel like relationships should be like in the comics. Like, yeah, Batman and Catwoman, you have Barry and Iris, minus Iris being irritatingly annoying like a certain TV show. Arrow and Canary, Superman and Lois. I'm sorry, I don't understand people who want the Super Wonder, or whatever they call it now. Wonder Woman and Superman in a relationship. It's kind of gross. They're like basically twins. They're both kind of the same. I mean, look at Miller. Frank Miller, of all people, kind of show how stupid this is. I mean, look at their kids. One has a big-ass head. Bigger than his body. What does that tell you? And one is like a glowing see-through thing. Like, I don't know what the fuck she is. No one doesn't want that. It's like, no wonder Batman beat the shit out of Superman. Twice. You have ugly kids. Like... And I remember one time in Smallville, it was like the first time ever. It was like an episode, the first time ever I skipped watching Smallville. I watched every episode of Smallville from the beginning to the end, except one. That episode was Wonder Twins. They brought in the Wonder Twins into the show. And I was like, Peter Griffin, done. Like, I, for those who don't know, I have an undying hatred for the Wonder Twins. I think the Wonder Twins are the stupidest characters created by Hanna-Barbera for Super Friends. The Wonder Twins are the most idiotic looking characters ever. I would rather read American Chavez than read the Wonder Twin comics Brian Bendis was involved in. And American Chavez sucks. I hate the Wonder Twins. If they ever decide, like, one day to bring them into the DCEU, I will rather watch the entire MCU franchise. Because I hate the Wonder Twins. That episode of Smallville was the stupidest thing ever. And I seen it on DVD recently. Because I never seen it when it first aired. Because I was just like, I hate this. Like, nobody asked for these two to show up. Nobody was like, I want the Wonder Twins to appear in Smallville. Even though they were in Metropolis at the time. And I'm just like, why did you include these characters? These characters are stupid. The only way for them to activate their powers is to fist bump. That's it. One turns into something, and one turns into like liquid, like ice or water or fog. It's stupid. These are stupid characters. How do they activate their powers? They fist bump. It's like, fuck these characters. Like, and I think they include these characters in the Superman book, the Superman Heroes. And I watched these characters, and I think that, wait, hold on, I'm gonna look up and see if they're in the net. It's like Brian Bendis is desperate to bring these characters to. It's kind of like them bringing. Hold on, let me take a look. Ah, shit, they are motherfuckers. Yeah, he included them in the DC Heroes. It's like, there's like two questions to ask. It's like, why the hell is Harley Quinn with the Justice League? And why are these dumbass characters? It's like, it even got to the point where Batman is just standing there going like, I hate everybody. Like I'm gonna post a photo on the Josh of Gotham Instagram page. All right, this is Batman's reaction. I'm gonna do my Batman voice while I'm at it. I'm looking at Batman's reaction, and I'm looking at the picture. All right. I love this. I love this art cover. It makes me want to buy the book, even though I don't buy any Superman books. You have everybody smiling as Clark Kent is coming out as Superman. Everybody's smiling. You got the Wonder Twins with their shit-eating grin. Yeah, Plastic Man. You have the Flash. The only two who are not smiling now that I notice is Aquaman and Batman. Damian Wayne is smiling, which I have a hard time believing. And here's Batman's, stone face look like, this is going to be a stupid idea. He put his whole family at risk. Why the fuck are the Wonder Twins in this? They ain't members of the League. Who voted for this? I hate you all. Like, that is Batman's reaction to this. And everybody's like fucking smiling. Oh, Tim Drake's in this. Tim's in this. Wow. They cut off Booster Gold in the photo. But you have Batman here who's just like looking at like this whole thing is stupid. And why are they on top of the Daily Planet of all buildings? So and I'm sure somewhere Batman's like, I'm gonna quit this stupid league. So anyway, back to the Titans. I was like ranting from how dumb Aquaman's arrival to Smallville, which they don't even explain how. If somebody's gonna have to comment, like I don't remember how the hell he showed up in Smallville. Like, if you're in the ocean, So anyway, sorry. I slept with the fan on. My nose is kind of like, running a bit, but I don't have corona. So anyway, Titans supposedly going to return 2020, so I'm kind of doubtful of it. WB has announced a release date, but Titans is expected this year, barring any delays of the coronavirus, of course. Titans might come out like possibly the end of this year or the beginning of next year. I don't know. They're talking about this thing happening all the way to November. This coronavirus shit. All the way to November, which is kind of weird since our election's going to be in November. Yeah. But also, it's like, we're going to get off the virus thing quickly, but I kind of pointed this out when I went to the park. My dad went with me, so we decided to take a walk because we were tired of being cooped up in the house and shit. And I pointed this out. It's like, it's kind of weird how city councils, mayors, and governors have control over the state, where they close up everything except Walmart. and Target or Target. But yet they close up all the other stores and shit. Like, is it kind of weird how a lot of people can go into those stores, but yet they can't go into other stores? Is it kind of weird? Because, I mean, here's the thing about it. Walmart, I always feel like Walmart is possibly much unsanitary than a comic book shop. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, well, Aldi's. I mean, I went to Aldi's, all right? I talked about it in yesterday's show, the social distancing. How weird and how I felt like I had a fucking disease. People are like standing, from me, and I wanted to cough and scare the shit out of them. But it was just, it was so weird how it was. And where I live, nobody knows any fucking social distancing. These people are like up your ass. Of, like, if you're in an aisle in a store and you're trying to get something, these motherfuckers will show up and try to, like, go like Dennis Rodman on the basketball court, making sure you don't get what you want, type of thing. And that store was just like 6 feet. 6 feet. So it was kind of weird. The social distancing thing, I as a person with social anxiety, it is like the weirdest shit. Like, even I will look at it and be like, this is stupid. But I don't like being, I don't like people crowd me. That's kind of how I am. Like, I don't like it. Like, social distancing, I know there's some people like, I could live with that. And it's like, for me, it's just like, it's kind of, it's weird and strange in several ways. So, for me, it's funny and amusing. But what's not funny and amusing is how fucking bored it is at times, where you can't go to any other stores. Like, I love buying. I don't want to walk in a Walmart and there is no books. It's for people like me. I love comic books. And I love the DC Giant books, but I want something new. Like, I want to go into a store and I want to buy Detective Comics or The Flash. Those are basically the two books I read. Catwoman. I don't want to walk into a fucking Walmart and there's the same giant books. Like, I want the new Batman Gotham book coming out. Gotham High, I think is what it's called. I want that book. I want the Catwoman 80th anniversary book. I don't want to walk into a fucking Walmart and books for people like me who like reading comics. And when I look at Walmart's bookshelves, it's basically, you have, where there's nothing wrong with it, you have kids books, you have murder mystery books, and you have the smutty, cheap-ass romance novels with the guy with no shirt on and the woman's like touching him. That's kind of the books that they have there. There is nothing fun or entertaining. Like, and now, like, comic book stores are closed by April 1st because Diamond and
Diamond's not distributing books. They shut down. DC. I was going to say Walmart, but DC closed up their printers.
And there's going to be nothing entertaining or fun.
Which means a lot of comic book channels and podcasts are going to be affected by this as well, not just as much as the local small comic book shops. Walmart has a big-ass corporation. Target, big-ass corporation. Aldi's, Save-A-Lot, But the local small comic book shops owned by the mom and pop, or the small guy, is affected. And I support Trump on, wanting to reopen stores and stuff, but a lot of these assholes are like, no, people are going to die. People are going to die. And with this, it's like everything is closed. Flight, traveling, going anywhere, it's all closed. And which means they're trying to hold, which means nobody is going to go fucking anywhere. Nobody's going to fly anywhere. Nobody's going to go anywhere because everybody is at home in house arrest, basically. Trump is trying to reopen everything. Reopen the stores, which can that goes.
It reopens the
traveling. Everybody wants to live
fear.
Everybody wants to live scared shitless.
And it's stupid.
And be scared. I mean, the only thing that's great out of this is I don't have to go get my, ultrasound done on my liver. That's the best thing about it. I can drink anything I want now. Eat anything I want. That's the best thing out of it.
By the way, I'm just making a joke because it's like I was scared shitless about getting my liver done. But, I mean, one thing I learned out of it is, like, I love drinking lemon lime water. And lemon lime tea. As odd as that is. That's the best thing out of it. I'm just making jokes to add light to the humor and stuff. But I'm so tired of this. It's like I have a lot of things to do. I could write. I'm writing stories. Tossing around ideas and for stories and stuff. But the thing about it is, I am basically have nothing to do or go anywhere to interact and shop. I hate Walmart. I hate Target, especially. I don't like Target. But I don't have anywhere to go or buy things. Like, I mean, Amazon's open, which is fine, but when you buy a comic book, you want it in your hands. You don't want to wait a couple days or a week for a fucking book to arrive through the mail. But it is just stupid that you can't go into a comic book shop, interact with the person who owns the comic book shop, and talk to fellow comic book readers, and get a suggestion of which book is to read if you're one of those people.
Want to try something new when you read a new book?
Buy a new writer.
Find a new indie book. Indie writer and artist. You can't do that now.
Like, you're just stuck at home.
Watching the same movies, the same reading, the same books. You can't do anything. You're like in a fucking house arrest. And now, you can't even go outside past like a time. Because you get the cops and you will get a ticket for being out in
public.
Which is happening now. Yeah, they're going to be out here. What are you doing out here in this time? Do you know there's a virus going on? It's
basically like literally the Nazi concentration camp.
You are stuck and fucked in one place. You cannot go anywhere. That's how it is. And it's stupid. Like, I don't want to be stuck in my house and end up like Jack Nicholson in The fucking Shining, going crazy. Where I see twingers standing in my hallway. I don't want to see that. And I don't want to see red rum written on my walls or my door. Like, I don't want to go that crazy. At all. I want to go outside, go to a comic book shop, instead of going to the fucking Walmart and seeing the same people. Look down the toilet
Aisle, and there is nothing but
candy. I don't want to see that shit. You know that
I want to point this out.
I walked down the Easter
The aisle.
just laughing to myself like how stupid this is. I saw,
I am not making this up, a chocolate cross.
Jesus would feel if he saw that. He'd be like, really? I died on the cross and said
Now you make
chocolate? So, anyway,
about this, how dumb it is, and how I hope Trump does open up stores, because people need to go back to work. People need to run their business instead of being at home. People need to do stuff. They shouldn't be held in their house like a hostage over scientists and news media. Like the news media, I hate the news. They are like feeding off of this like a coyote on a carcass. They are feeding off of this and scaring people to be like, now it's like they say, like, coronavirus could be under your shoes. Are you tracking it through your house? What? Are you serious? It reminded me of when Bush was president, where throughout the news, it was basically scaring people to the death where they're thinking they're going to die tomorrow. It reminds me of that. It honestly does. And I hated those times. Where I hated those times where you were scared to death of the next person standing next to you, or you're going to die tomorrow. I hated that. Because that's kind of true, because we walk with shoes everywhere. I mean, I know it's true. I know that, but it's just, it is annoying. Like, I mean, like, where they want to scare people to death. I'm tired of being forced to be scared of things. I'm tired of that. It is annoying. Of like, it feels like Jonathan Crane's Scarecrow is running this. He's running the asylum. But now it's just, I honestly think people shouldn't be afraid of anything. They shouldn't. You should never be afraid of anything. You should just be yourself. Do what you're doing. And give up the toilet paper if you bought the huge stockpile of it. Like, that is ridiculous. Buying up all the toilet paper. Like, now, like, one person wrote, on Facebook. It was pretty funny though. My dad, not my dad. My mom commented on it. My mom made a comment where the person who is one of the city council people outside it's weird though. People who live in a town shouldn't be considered a city. You don't have no skyscraper buildings. You don't have really much of anything. You're in a town. The town council member, even though they want to be a city, you're not a city, you're a town, was like, coronavirus can affect the stomach and cause diarrhea. And my mom wrote, like, how the hell does it cause diarrhea if it's up in the respiratory area? And that city council person, the town council person, blocked her. It was just like, and my mom was like, it's just a question. I was like, well, these people get, triggered easily. They want to, they're politicians. They want to be right. But it was just one of those things, like, I don't get half the people anymore. They want, control and stuff. But the one thing I realized, like, Trump wants to reopen stores and stuff. The city councils, the governor, and all that are going to try to stop that. I hope they don't. People who own businesses should reopen their business. That's basically what I'm saying. Anyway, other news. I just wanted to rant about that because it's just like your mom is cool. It's kind of funny though because she's like the coronavirus thing. Alright, let's talk about this one. This one's pretty interesting. This one is about Wonder Woman 84, a movie where we don't know when it's coming out. A new Wonder Woman Funko Pop called One Flying, and a t-shirt showing Gal Gadot taking flight in the air as well. Shows Wonder Woman flying. So does this mean we'll get to see Wonder Woman fly? I honestly thought like that was kind of the stupidest thing ever. Like making Wonder Woman fly. It's like she has an invisible flying jet. It reminds me of the flying plane, the invisible plane. Reminds me of the Family Guy moment. I don't know if anybody remembers this. It was kind of honestly like the funniest Superman moment. Is where Wonder Woman is in her invisible plane. And Superman's flying by and it shows Wonder Woman sitting on the toilet. The invisible toilet. At her invisible plane. And Superman says to her when she gets back to her flight thing, he goes, "You didn't wash your hands. Ew." And he flies off. Like, that was my favorite funny moment where I was like laughing because I'm just like, this is the first time Superman is actually funny and I agree with him. And I'm watching it and go like, this is funny and brilliant. And it just shows that Wonder Woman is gross. She doesn't wash her hands after going to the bathroom, and it was just, that is funny though. I love that moment. Like, I know they did like some Batman stuff back in the day. with Family Guy. And oddly enough, they never got like Adam West to do the voice of Batman. Like there was, I mean, they did get Adam West to do Batman once, which was really cool. Where he's like climbing up the rope. As Meg and Chris are sitting in a chair, and he looks at he breaks fourth wall, and he goes, "This is how we did that you didn't know." And he like continues like climbing up. It showed like how he did, like him and Burt Ward did the going up the side of the buildings, yeah, and stuff. It was really cool, like, you know. So anyway, let's get to So, I'm going to read a time travel story. I'm not going to read the last one we talked about before. I kind of lost interest in it, oddly enough. So, I don't know why. I just kind of lost interest in it. Like, usually if I read, you forget about it. I really have. I kind of look. Oddly enough, I kind of like this ADHD mind, where as a kid I did have ADHD, where I kind of have interest in it, then I lose interest in it, then I kind of see what's up with other stories and stuff, and it's kind of what I do. Like, I kind of have like, all right, cool. I move on. I'm kind of looking at seeing what else they have in stories. Here it is. Talking to time travelers. Here's an interesting account submitted by transcript Jamie Bryan. No date is given. Eastern Kentucky. Ben in California called, and to tell how as a kid he was confronted by two men who asked about a gate that hadn't been there for years. Never mind. It's kind of boring. Kind of sounds like more like anytime you hear something like that, you're like, it sounds like they were trying to kidnap the kid. Here's one. Sorry. The historical time slips. I received the following narrative from a reader. In 1984, I was at the St. David Cathedral in Wales, found around 590 or so. A new cathedral was built around 1131. Damn, that's old. Or so. When declared to be one of the most important pilgrim sites. It is said that 2 pilgrims to St. David's was equal to one of Rome in 1171. Not long after the visit by Henry II, the current cathedral has begun. Evidently, at one time there was a special pilgrim of those embarked on the crusade. Henry and Eleanor were both present. Damn, that must be old. I sat at the ancient building and swore I could, in my mind, see the Paradisel. It was a strange feeling. I walked back up the hill to a parked car and stood at the wall around the cathedral, and I could see the entire Paradisel walking into the building. A few weeks later, I literally made a pilgrim at the fortified Abbey to visit the final resting place of both Henry, Eleanor, and my favorite royal, Richard Cora del Lion. Damn, dude, you had a nice name. It's kind of funny, though. It's kind of like I finally found out what the name of my ancestor who lived in France, who was an executioner. His name was Roberto Delcourt. I heard that name, I was thinking, like, that is a nice name. Delcourt. Roberto Delcourt. It sounds like a wrestler in Mexico. Coming to the ring, Roberto Delcourt. And I'm thinking, like, that is a good fucking name. If I was ever a wrestler, I would want that name. Like, that was like the best name ever. How can a person with that nice of a name be an executioner? Like, how? Like, was that the one job? Like, was that the one job that you were stuck with? Like, Roberto, yes, you're an executioner.
Like, that must have been
a job that was annoying.
Like the
execution
of, apparently it was
like the execution where
that was fucked up. But damn, he had a nice name though, like that. Nice name. I mean, Roberto Delcourt, executioner.
I remember when
I was like, suck.
Like, would you imagine? Like, he had to, like, not only execute people,
he had to clean up afterwards. Like, that must have been a job where he
came home and he's like, I had the worst fucking day ever. And nobody asked the question, what happened? Because they kind of probably knew. Because he was in a small village. Everybody knew everybody. Who died, they know who. So, like, he had a nice job, though. Like, he lived in France. He was an executioner. Everybody knew him. He was probably the one person they were like, okay, you don't fuck with that dude. Like, that dude, you don't piss him off. He executes people. Don't piss him off. You're like, okay, got it. Just, we don't piss off the Delcourts. We leave those people alone. That one dude's an executioner. You be nice to his kids, or your head is gonna roll. Shit, I just made a joke about execution.
Alright. He's probably laughing.
Shit. That was a good one. Alright. I took a number of photo slides when I finally got home. Alright, I'm reading the story. And they were developed. The owner of the camera shop where I would have them developed had pulled out 3 slides from the roll of the film. I must have taken a dozen shots. 3 of them had this long green light. I swear it looked like a lightsaber. Get it, lightsaber, Star Wars. Jing, jing. I point over to Richard's Scarabs. Okay, whatever. My friend, who is an expert at developing, went back and went through the entire roll. He checked the angles of the shots. They were all the same. I am using an auto drive on the SLR. I don't know what the hell that is, okay? I assume it's a camera. I'm not a camera expert, so if you know what that is, you tell me. He said the logical explanation was the shot had something to do with Richard. I told him about the cathedral and how I was feeling about where Richard was entered. Okay. I was very upset about it. He was, the most illustrious king of England, and no one ever cared. Evidently, he realized I cared about his final resting place and responded somehow. I swear we experienced time slips, and there has to be two other occasions and two other experiences. My friend, 79-year-old nun from New Orleans. She told me she was walking through one of the older parts of the town and could tell someone was following her. A woman with a hoop skirt hurried past her nodding and watched her from a block. The woman disappeared. Okay. Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Huh. Oh, here's a question. Favorite time travel movie? I have to say Back to the Future 2, oddly enough. I like Back to the Future 2. Even though, like, Marty went back. It's kind of odd, though. Like, Back to the Future 2, it's like, now when you watch, you're like, oh, that's when Marty went back in time. Like I like Back to the Future 2, I think, because how, when you watched it, you're like, oh, is the future going to be like that? Flying cars and shit? No. Sadly, no. There's no flying cars. Which is kind of sad, though. It's like, when you ever look at it, there's like no flying cars. Which I'm glad there isn't no flying cars the way people drive, man. People drive crazy. Like, I think what I liked about it was just how ambitious they were. Like, when you look at the future, the future from their eyes back in the 80s. Like, man, this is what it's going to be like. Flying cars, interactive TVs. Oddly enough, they got that right. Surrey, and Alexa, or whatever. Alexa, I think is what it is. Like, you get all these interactive things and stuff. And the Pepsi bottles were like, I remember when they were getting ready to do that, they were going to have like all these, the actual like Pepsi designed bottles like that. I wanted one just to be a collectible item, because I'm not a big Back to the Future fan as my mom. My mom is like a diehard Back to the Future fan. Like, she fucking loves Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd are favorites. She loves Michael J. Fox. Like, she is a big Michael J. Fox fan. From his television to now, like, she's very supportive of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, the cure Parkinson's and all that. like I am with the Christopher Reeve Foundation. Like, I'm not a big Superman fan, but I support the Christopher Reeve Foundation for cures for paralysis and stuff, and nerve damage and all that. I am supportive of that. I support that all the way. Even though, like, I donated like $10, I got like the Superman dog tag, which I don't wear. But I'm happy I got it. Like, I just support the Christopher Reeve Foundation, you know, and stuff. You know, like, I mean, she has like the Back to the Future comics. Like, she wasn't interested in reading it. I was just like, oh, look what I found in Back to the Future. I bought it for you. Here you go. Like, and stuff. And I remember they made the video game, like the Telltale Back to the Future and stuff. It was pretty fun. The one gripe I have about it is, like, the person who voiced Marty didn't sound like he tried his best at doing Michael J. Fox impression until Michael J. Fox actually voiced a character, and you're like, that is Marty. But anyway, yeah, like, I like part 2 because how ambitious they thought the future was going to be. Like, you buy a pizza, a small little pizza from Pizza Hut, and you put it in the microwave, and bam, it's like big ass pizza. I like that. And the fruit, you know, in the little basket comes down and it goes back up. The 4 different TVs on the screen, which is actually, they did that. I think they do that. You can, like, watch 2 different programs on, you know, see which one's interesting. But they were so ambitious about how the future would look and stuff, and how cars, oddly enough, the cars in it looked like something out of the Super Mario Brothers movie, like the one with Bob Hoskins. I don't know if anybody remembers that. The cars looked like it, like, you know. I like the third. The third one's pretty good because the third one's kind of westerns. Like, I love westerns and stuff. I'm still waiting for them to do Jonah Hex correctly. I hated that movie. Jonah Hex with Josh Brolin and Megan Fox. Like, I had such high hopes for a Jonah Hex movie to be like an old classic spaghetti western. For those who don't know, spaghetti westerns is when Italian filmmakers were making westerns with The Man with No Name with Clint Eastwood and all that. I was hoping they would make Jonah Hex like that. But instead we got like this Punisher-esque type Jonah Hex movie. And I was like, no. Like, no. Like, that was awful. Oh, here's... Well, I'm going to have to wrap up the podcast pretty soon. I see Bane out there. The big cat named Bane. Yep, he has that. I wonder if the human put food out. Yeah, he's walking up the hill. So, anyway, I better go feed the cat, otherwise I'm going to be hearing, "You're late. Put the food in the bowl. I'll need it." So, anyway, yeah, so it's kind of an interesting podcast. So anyway, I'll be back next Monday. Next Monday we'll be, I guess, continuing the morning shows and stuff. I kind of enjoy doing the morning shows, but kind of gets it out of the way, because usually when we do the shows on the regular time, I'm trying to, like, rush through it, get it done, get it over with, go back to what I'm doing. So I better go feed the cat, or, you know, he'll get mad. Otherwise I hear, "I was wondering what would break first, your spirit or your decorations in the yard." So anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow.